Hello there, it's Gabby for you from Confidence After Cancer, and I hope this finds you well. This week, I am thinking about thinking and the problems that I see, problems that I've experienced myself with overthinking becomes a huge part of your life where it's very hard to stop overthinking about a problem that you've got. It might even be a problem that you haven't got that you think you might have. And so, what can you do if you find you're in a situation where you're overthinking things and it's really, really not helping you at all? I've got 4 strategies, 4 things that have helped me and have helped people that I'm working with as well. And I'm going to talk first of all about overthinking and how can it come about. And I see it in so many areas of life. Now, I work with cancer survivors, and understandably, a lot of cancer survivors will say, yeah, but I'm really worried about the cancer coming back. And that's understandable. And the way that I work with my clients is, well, okay, the cancer may come back, but what we're doing about it, let's get a plan in place. And so once you've got that plan in place, you know you've done everything that you can to stop the cancer coming back. Because none of us want to be in that place where we're lying awake at night thinking, oh, I've got a little twinge in my back. Is that the cancer? Oh, I've got this, I've got that. Is it this? Is it that? So regular screening, doing everything you can about your exercise, living well, thinking about the thoughts that you think as well, because I really believe we're not just a body, we are mind, body, and spirit. And so your thoughts can really influence your health. We know this, your thoughts influence your mental health, but I really believe your thoughts influence your physical health as well. And that's not a place I want to be in. And that's why I'm sharing this podcast, is to say, these are the things that I've done to stop me from being somebody who was living in fear, somebody who was overthinking and being quite miserable at times, to thinking, actually, I want to be living my best life. None of us are perfect, but I want to be working towards that, living my best life and being as happy and as healthy as I can be in all areas. The other area that I see people doing a lot of overthinking about, and somebody said to me the other day, is there something in the water? Because I see so many people struggling with the relationships, whether it's that personal relationship, whether it's a relationship within the family. There's a lot going on at the minute for so many people. And again, I'm not going to break any confidences. What I will say is going round and round a problem in your head is not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to solve it. I think we know that on a rational level. But sometimes you can feel, well, there's nothing I can do. I've got this terrible thing that's happened and there's no getting over it. And I can't help the way that I'm feeling. And I'm here to say you can choose a better thought. It's not always easy, but you can choose a better thought. And I'd like to give some tips on how to do that. The other thing that I've worked with people on when they've been overthinking is somebody who's got financial problems, and it can be really overwhelming and all-consuming if you're in a lot of debt and you've got real money problems. What I will say to you is I've worked with several people on resolving their money problems, and there is no money problem that cannot be overcome. It makes me so sad when I hear that people are literally suicidal sometimes because of money problems. Money problems can be fixed always. There's always a solution for it, and it's something that I'm here to help with as well. And so the first strategy I've got for you, if you are finding you are overthinking in any of these areas, is to challenge your thoughts and think, is it a fact or is it a feeling? And it can be really hard sometimes to think, you're going round and round and round, but really challenging thing, is this really true, what I'm thinking, or is it my perception of it? And I'll give you a good example of this. When I was in a corporate job, there were 5 little words that used to strike fear into my heart. And that was, have you got a minute? And oh my God, if my boss ever said to me, have you got a minute? I'd be thinking, oh, they found out. They found out that mistake that I've made, or they found out that thing that I've done wrong. And this is it now. I'm going to get taken into the office. I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, if I lose my job, I won't be able to pay my bills. Oh my God, if I can't pay my bills, I'm going to lose my house. And so in the space of a minute, I've gone from somebody quite innocently saying, have you got a minute, to I'm homeless, I'm destitute. And that was my mind working overtime. I have to tell you, nobody's ever sacked me. Nobody's ever taken me into the office and said, have you got a minute? And then ended up with me losing my job. But we can do that. Our thoughts can run away with us sometimes if we don't control them. So catch yourself, challenge yourself and think, is this a fact or is it a feeling? And for me, that was a feeling. It was my fear of being exposed, if you like, for the mistake that I'd made. And do you know what? I might have made a tiny mistake compared to a lot of good stuff that I'd done in my corporate career. But for that minute, those 5 little words struck fear into me. The other top tip that I've seen that really works, the second strategy that I've got, is to reschedule your overthinking. And what does that mean? Well, somebody that I know is going through a really tough time. And she told me, I've spent a lot of time now thinking about this. I've been thinking about it for months, and it was a horrible situation. But she said, I've decided now I'm only going to think about this thing for 10 minutes a day. That's my limit. I'm almost going to set a timer and say, right, I'm going to talk about this to my husband because it still hurts and I've still got things to process, but I'm not going to let it overshadow the rest of my life. I'm not going to let this rob my life of the joy that I've got and the happiness that I've got and the other things that I want to do. So setting a timer for her, 10 minutes a day of overthinking, thinking about this problem, worked for her. The other thing that I've seen work really well, and again, going back to money problems, I was working with a lady who had a lot of debt, thousands of pounds worth of debt, and she was really, really worried about this, understandably so. But we decided she was going to have one day a week where we were going to tackle her money problems, and we called it Money Wednesday or Worry Wednesday. So if she got a letter or a horrible phone call or something that really pushed her buttons, she could take a breath, take a beat and say, I'm going to deal with that on Wednesday. Yes, there were a lot of letters to write, emails to write, phone calls to be made, but we did that on a Wednesday. So for the rest of the week, she could relax into trying to live her life, trying to be the best mother that she could be to her children, because she hadn't been present with them when she was worried about this money. So she was trying to push her money worries into Worry Wednesday. That's when we dealt with it. And over time, we dealt with it. I'm not saying they went away, but we came up with a plan. That lady's now debt-free. Okay. But she could have let that just ruin the relationship that she had with her children. And how sad is that? My third strategy is distraction. And so distraction works for me really well when I am getting in that cycle of overthinking and things going round and round in my head. One beautiful thing that I've done this weekend is my husband and I have been looking after my son's little dog, Stevie. And we don't have a dog. We don't have any pets at the moment, but just having a little dog to look after for us was great therapy. We were playing with her, we were feeding her, we were taking her for long walks, and she was such an absolute tonic. And while we were with her, we were in the moment. We weren't thinking about any worries that we've got. We weren't thinking about anything else. We were just being in the moment. So pets can be wonderful therapy if you are prone to overthinking. And if you haven't got a pet, you can borrow one like we did for the weekend. Or I think there are websites now you can go on and you can actually go and volunteer to go and walk somebody else's dog. Or you can volunteer at an animal sanctuary. I know some people who do that as well. Great therapy. Pets don't expect too much from you. They live in the moment, and that's wonderful to see as well. A distraction for me is exercise. So I'm sat at my desk, as I am quite often at the minute. I spend far too long sitting down. So I make a conscious effort now to exercise. I've joined a gym. I'm doing weight training 3 times a week. And I have to say, sometimes I don't want to go, but I absolutely feel brilliant afterwards. And while I'm exercising and I'm focused on the instructor and what they're telling me to do, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not thinking about any worries that I've got. They're out the window. They're left at the door. So exercise really works for me. And I'm hoping that might work for you as well. The other thing with the distraction is replacing these thoughts with a good thought and a positive thought is to think about a goal that you want to achieve. And again, this is something I work with my coaching clients about. Setting a goal. It can be absolutely anything that you want to achieve. Something different from where you are now. Where do you want to be? How do you want to get there? And then we break it down into little manageable steps. Okay, you want this big thing. How are we going to get there? So working towards a goal is always a wonderful way of distracting yourself from these overwhelming, overthinking thoughts that are going round and round in your head and not helping you, not serving you. And so my fourth and final strategy that I would say, if you are prone to overthinking, is to practice self-acceptance. Learn to forgive yourself for any mistakes that you've made and realize we're all human. We will all make mistakes, but that doesn't stop you being the lovely, beautiful person that you are. Give yourself a break. Be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself in the way that you would talk to your best friend. That is one of the best tips that somebody's ever given me, is stop that negative self-talk. Stop beating yourself up for mistakes that you've made. The past is the past. You can learn from it and you can choose not to make that mistake again. You can't change it. So be kind to yourself. Be really, really kind to yourself. Practice self-acceptance and realize you're doing the best that you can. Okay, so let's stop that overthinking, overshadowing the rest of your life and robbing you of the chance to be happy and joyous and be that happy, healthy person you were born to be. You weren't born, you weren't put on this earth to worry your days away, where you know that, you know what I'm saying is true. So thank you so much for listening. It absolutely means the world to me. If you want help with any of this or anything else, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. As always, I'd urge you to stay safe and stay sane. Have a beautiful, wonderful week, my darling. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.